The reason you want to do this is you want to verify that you're actually a person that they need in their business, that you're not just pitching yourself to people who don't even recognize your value. Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now, my goal is that at the end of this video is to help you guys find your niche when it comes to working online, even if you don't have any experience at all. Now, if this is your guys' first time on my channel, my name is Lacaba. I am the virtual ate. I've been working from home since I was 15 years old and now run an outsourcing agency in the Philippines. So make sure to hit the subscribe button right there so you don't miss any of my videos every Sunday and Thursday on how to work from home. Now, I've actually already done a video on how to find your skill in your niche, which you guys can check out right here. But I've gotten more and more questions about this in the last year, so I wanted to kind of give you guys a more in-depth video about this topic, especially since I just did my online job hunting tips video where I talked about one of the first things that you do need before you start working from home is knowing what you're going to do and who you're going to work for. So make sure to watch until the end of this video so you're going to have that clarity of knowing who you want to work for when it comes to finding a job online or working from home. Now, the first thing you might be wondering is, what is a niche? So a niche is basically kind of a group of interests. So people can say different things. It could be an industry, it could be a group of people with the same interests, it could be a lot of things. But basically the way that you can think about a niche is try to think of your favorite book. So your favorite book has a niche in itself. It could be that it is a fiction novel, it is a young adult novel, and it is a fantasy novel. So an example is a series that I'm currently reading. This is called Renegades by Marissa Mayer. And this one is a perfect example of, this is a fiction book, this is young adult, this is fantasy, and the more niche of it is that this is about superheroes. So you've probably read a ton of books just like this where it's focused on, superheroes, or part of the niche that it could even be is alternate universe. So a niche can really be just kind of a category of an interest or something that people like. So another example of a niche are plants. There are indoor plants, outside plants, more to that, plants that you can leave and they don't need a lot of taking care of. There are plants that you need to water them every day. So that itself is also another example of niche. And actually, another example of a niche is probably your phone. So it's a phone, it's a touch screen phone, it's an Android phone, it's a Samsung phone, Samsung Note phone. So it can really cascade down what kind of phone this is. And there is a niche of people who like Samsung Note phone. That's essentially what a niche is. Again, it can be a group interest, it could be a category, it can be a part of an industry. But when you're working from home, you're trying to figure out, okay, who are the group of people that I want to target, that I want to talk to? It could be their type of business, it could be the type of entrepreneur that they are, it could be the interest that they have themselves that you can help them with. So that is what a niche is. I've kind of hopefully given you guys enough examples that you can understand what it is. So now, how do you actually find your niche when it comes to working from home? There's 3 stages that I really recommend that you go through as you get to know. First one is like, knowledge, and hack. So I'm going to walk you guys through those 3 stages of trying to find your niche. The first one, like, is basically asking yourself, what is it that you're currently like? What is something that you currently consume as a content to entertain yourself, to learn from? So you might be right now someone who watches YouTube videos. So you can go into your history and try to find what are the common niches that you watch a lot. So for example, if you looked at my YouTube history, a lot of what I watch are people who play The Sims 4. So that in itself is a niche. So the first thing you want to do is you want to make that list of all the things that you like. It could be movies that you like, series that you like. It could be the YouTube videos that you're consuming, it could be the books that you're reading. Try to figure it out from the current interests that you do have. What are the things that you naturally go to, or what are even the habits that you guys are doing? So you could be someone who's really into fitness, someone who's really into keto, you might be someone who is really into gadgets. Try to look at your interests, make that list, at least 10 things. So that is the first thing that you want to do. Next is you want to narrow it down to the top 3 things that you really interest you. The reason why you want to do this is it's going to be so much easier for you to work with people who have the same interests as you, because you will understand their business in a way that someone who's totally a newbie would have no idea about. So let's say that you picked the fiction niche, right? And you're someone who loves to read fiction. It's going to be so much easier for you to relate to someone who writes young adult books because you love reading young adult books versus reading just adult romance books. So hopefully you can kind of see that, the two differences of that, of working with people who already like the same things you are or are in the industry that you like. So for example, for me, if I was going to start again, probably one of the first things I would do is I would apply to be a video editor for these Sims players because that's something that I'm interested in. That's something that I probably won't get bored going over and editing those videos. Again, as an example. So you want to pick the top 3 of your likes, the top 3 of your interests. And if you look at them, they might even be around the same niche as well. So it could be, let's say you're someone who really likes to eat keto, you're someone who does fasting, and you're someone who works out every day. So kind of your category or your niche is really health and fitness. Once you have your top 3, you want to narrow down to what is the niche that you do want to start working on. Now, one of the things you have to keep in mind is your niche is just where you start, not where you end. You start with this specific niche, but doesn't mean that you're stuck there. You can experiment later on, you can work with different people later on, but your niche is where you start getting paid from. These are the first people that you're going to be offering your service to. Once you have that, that is the first stage. So you focus on the thing that you like, you focused on the industry that you have been interested in, something that you've been involved in. The next stage, like I said, is knowledge or just the research stage. So you want to, as much as possible, research the current experts in that industry or that niche. So let's say, for example, that you have picked Twitch streamers. Let's say that's the niche that you have picked, and you've even narrowed it down to Twitch streamers who do Dungeons and Dragons games. So you've really niched down and found the one interest that you really want to get to know more. You really are into it, and then you want to look at who are the top Twitch streamers who are into Dungeons and Dragons, and you want to see their process. You want to research what they do. You want to research who they are and what they did to get to that point. You're kind of looking at the top people for that niche, so you can kind of get to know how you are, and we're going to discuss later on, how you're going to help the people who are below them or even just starting out. Next is you want to research your competition. Hopefully at this point, you already have a skill that you've picked out. And if you still haven't yet, you can download my 100 plus skills PDF, where it's actually a worksheet that walks you through how to pick your skill online. But basically at this point, you already have a general idea of, okay, I'm going to be a graphic artist for Dungeons and Dragons Twitch streamers. So that's kind of the sentence that you're going with, the starting point that you're going with. Then again, like I said, you want to research your competition. Who are the people who are already in this niche? You want to check places like Upwork, LinkedIn, or different job posting sites where you can see who else is in this niche. The reason why you want to do this is you want to see if people are actually doing this for a living. You want to see if this is something that you can do as well. Being a pioneer is fun, but if you're the first person ever to do this job, it's going to be harder for you to sell yourself to the people that you want to work with. The next stage in your research should be pay. You're already researching the people you're competing with, so you want to look at now, how much are they getting paid? And is this the rate that you want to go for? Now, I've already done a video on how to price yourself online that you guys can check out. But basically, you want to see like, okay, so these are the people who are already here, who are already doing this for a while. How much are they getting paid? And does this match what I'm looking for? Because then you have a really good overview of how much this industry basically pays for your skill. Now, the last stage in trying to find your niche is what I'm going to be calling hacking. So this is a term that I've coined in the last video. Like I said, I did how to find your skills and niche video, which is basically called niche hacking. So niche hacking is the process of writing down what are the steps that these people go through, that the people in your industry go through to be able to produce the content that you like. So for example, going back to the Dungeons and Dragons niche, I know that's very, very niche, but let's just use that as an example for now. The steps that they have to do to be able to produce the content that you consume, or the thing that you consume, it could be, a physical product, it could be a service that you like. You want to reverse hack your way through it. You want to niche hack it. So it could be that the first step that they have to do is to then pick the type of content that they want to do. It's then creating, so going with the Dungeons and Dragons example, it's now going to creating then the storyline, picking the players, having the players pick their characters. So then you're really writing out, if you, as much as you can, you're writing out how they're doing what they're doing. Now to find this out, you can literally just type in Google how to publish a YouTube video, how to publish a YouTube video as a Dungeons and Dragons master, how to do Twitch with Dungeons and Dragons. So you can get very specific. So I'll use another example because I see how quickly that can be very distracting. So another example that I can easily think about is how to be a YouTuber. So let's say you're targeting a niche of fitness YouTubers. Then you want to find out what their process would be. So it could be planning the content, researching the content, so making sure that people are actually want this kind of content. So it could be doing polls, and then afterwards it's writing the script, it's directing, it's filming, it's editing, it's adding any effect, it's publishing it on YouTube, it's promoting it, and then the cycle goes over again to see what else they can do to promote the video. So that's what niche hacking basically is you are breaking down all of the steps that they have to do to produce your kind of content. Now it can really differ per industry and per niche, so you really want to research what goes into their business as they go through. So for example, going back to the YouTuber example, after that they have to figure out their taxes, they have to figure out their own sponsorships, the business that they're running, everything else that goes into becoming a YouTuber. So then that's when you try to figure out, that's why it's called a little bit hacking, is you want to figure out what problem are you solving for them? What is the pain that they're going through as to why they would need someone like you? So for example, let's say going back to the YouTuber example, as a graphic artist, the pain or the problem that you are solving is that they will have really amazing thumbnails that will capture people's attention so they can get more views, or it could be creating social media posts that drive people to watch the video. The pain there is not being seen. The pain there is not having people click on their YouTube videos because the thumbnail sucks. It could be anything, but you want to figure out, okay, in these set of steps that I have here about how a YouTuber creates their videos or how they run their online business, these are the ways that I can help them. The reason you want to do this is you want to verify that you're actually a person that they need in their business, that you're not just pitching yourself to people who don't even recognize your value. Then once you have that, you want to now test the market. So when it comes to testing the market, you can go two paths. You can go to the unpaid test or the paid test. So unpaid test, especially if you don't have any experience, you are literally going out and asking people if they would be open for you working for them for free in exchange for experience or being able to test out your skill. So it could be that you approach one of your favorite YouTubers and ask like, hey, do you need a video editor? I really like your stuff, you know, blah, blah, blah. You talk to them why you like their stuff. And then you say, I'm willing to work for free because I really want to build up my portfolio and I just love your content as well. You can see how starting with something that you like make it so much easier for you to market yourself. And as you're testing, you want to make sure that you are building your portfolio. Now, I already have another video on how to build your digital portfolio online, which you guys can check out. But basically, you want to make sure that every piece of output that you create, you do record it. You have some sort of way to prove to the next client that you can do what you can say you can do. The testing is just making sure, again, that you can make money from this. Now, the paid option, of course, is now you applying for jobs, even though if you don't have any experience, as long as you can show that you are willing to learn and that you have some sort of portfolio that you can give to them. And the last step that you have to keep in mind when it comes to picking your niche is to assess. You want to see if this is a niche that you want to keep working at and a niche that you want to be in. You want to continue growing in, because after you assess, then you start growing. Then you start thinking if you want to pivot or you want to change or you want to get working into another niche. Now, hopefully at this point, you guys have some sort of idea on what niche that you want to go into, and make sure to comment that below because I would love to see and help you guys out if I can. So our featured comment for this week is actually from Kath. It's actually from the freelance writing basics video that I did, which she says, I'm so glad I came across this video while I'm starting to build my website again for a blog. I decided I want to be a freelance content writer, a blog writer to be exact. Niche is one of my problems because I'm so in self-improvement topics. I'll watch some of your other vids and hoping I could finally niche down. Thank you so much for this. So that's actually the perfect comment to wrap this video up with is, again, you can just pick your niche to start, but it doesn't mean that you get stuck in that niche. You can then move forward and choose a different one later on. You can even niche down a little bit further. As you guys can see, there can be niches upon niches upon niches. It's called usually micro niches, where you can go down just a rabbit hole. But I really recommend that you start with what you like, and then you find what other industries you might be interested in, or you might be comfortable being able to show your skill or offer your services working from home. Now, if you guys like this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button right there. And if you still haven't yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button right there so you don't miss any of my videos every Sunday and Thursday on how to work from home. You guys can check out these other 2 videos right here for more tips on how to start your career online. And I hope you guys have an awesome day. And remember that small steps matters. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!